Chili,
Yes, sir.
talk to me, man. First time coon hunting.
First time coon hunting. I have no idea what's going on, but we just released the dogs and we're waiting on what I imagine is for them to bark and signal for us to go over there and get them.
Now we're hunting tonight with my buddy Michael Roseman, who I always hunt with. He's standing right over there waiting for Heck to bark. and we just cut loose. It's about 64 degrees, which is warmer than normal, and it's very dry. So the dogs may have a little trouble. We've seen some coons on the ground. Hopefully we'll get one hemmed up in the tree here. But it's a coon hunt, buddy.
I'm here for it.
Welcome to this Country Life Podcast, Deer and Coon Camp Edition 2024. My name is Brent Reaves, and my guest co-host today is none other than Austin Chleborad, better known as Chili to all of us who know and love him, or Luke Grimes, as the guy next door has accused him of secretly being. Now, I have to say this before you start talking, Chili. I've never seen you and Luke Grimes in the same room together, so the jury may still be out on that. I can't testify it either way. Anyway, welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Pretty excited to be here down in your home state.
First question.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I've known you for 2 years now, almost 2 years.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What does a MeatEater production coordinator do?
I handle all the camera equipment that we send out on shoots for all of you guys, and anything that we want to record or film. Most of that gear is coming from me, and a lot of logistics that I go along with it.
I've seen your office down there, and it looks like some kind of
like a Best Buy.
Best Buy, yeah, Best Buy store.
Yeah.
Man, there's gear and cases and stuff stacked everywhere, and you got to keep up with all that.
I certainly try. Yeah, it's a lot, but it only took me a couple weeks to get all.
Well, I know that you and I hit it off from the very beginning when we first met, and I've been trying to. I was like, dude, you got to come to Arkansas. I know you'll like it because you are from.
I'm from South Dakota.
Yeah.
So this is all very foreign to me down here.
A little bit different.
Very different. Yeah.
So whitetail hunting, did you grow up doing a lot of that or any of it?
As far as hunting goes, yeah. Whitetail hunting, yes and no. I would say the first deer I ever shot was a Black Hills whitetail deer.
Okay.
And predominantly whitetail are just in the Black Hills and in the river bottoms. But so that was my first deer. And then I kind of, as I got older, transitioned over to mule deer because I just like doing that more.
That's your gig.
Yeah. So I shot a few whitetail does, never shot a whitetail buck, and then just focused on.
Now, how are you hunting them up there? How are you hunting mule deer up there?
We didn't have any tree stands growing up, so it was kind of like when I was with my dad, we'd go out to the woods. He'd be like, "All right, sit down, shut up, and just wait. Hopefully, a deer walks by."
Okay, so you're hunting off the ground.
Yeah, and then as I got older and started hunting by myself, I started walking around and kind of stalking and still hunting.
Okay. Well, before we get into all the differences and the stuff that we've been doing, let's talk about what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. For the last 14 days, as a matter of fact. You left Bozeman, I left Arkansas. We met the same day in New Orleans.
Yep.
And from there, we went to the tippy toe of Louisiana, down at Venice, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Did a bunch of inshore and offshore fishing.
Man, now you may have done that before. There's a mosquito. We can talk about them in a minute. But have you ever done that kind of fishing before?
Offshore, yes. Similarly, yes. Inshore, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speckled trout, sheep's head, which looks like they're beautiful fish, but when you look at their teeth, they look like somebody's grandpa ordered some roebuckers from out of the catalog. I mean, that is the craziest looking teeth I ever seen.
Yeah, they're rounded off.
Yeah.
And it's like little spears almost.
Yeah.
And they look like they're for grinding.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know. They're eating crabs and shrimp and stuff. They got to have them kind of teeth. I don't know. But everything down there at home and here in Arkansas, just about every fish, if you're going to pull him up out of the water, you can put your thumb in his mouth.
Yeah.
You can do that in Louisiana, but there ain't no telling what you're liable to get out of it. You
Probably lose a thumb.
Yeah, lose the thumb before it's all over with. But anyway, that was great people we met down there, the folks we were fishing with and where we were staying, Mr. Renee and all those folks down there was just such a great time. You couldn't want for more.
Oh yeah, as far as being people like you never met before,
Yeah.
they were very hospitable and very welcoming, and just
very much so.
they were just pleasant to be around.
Yeah, and they talk funny even compared to me, didn't they?
Yeah, they have a little bit more of an accent.
I talked to Giannis the other on Monday before we came down later that week. He said, "Man, some of these folks down here make you sound like a Yankee."
Well, the similar thing that you guys have, or some of your local counterparts have, was Miss Charlotte made me get a picture with her.
Yeah,
because she's like, I got to send this to my niece because we think you're Luke Grimes. And for those of you who don't know, Luke Grimes, Casey Dutton from Yellowstone. Not the first time I've gotten that compliment. I don't even know if it's a compliment.
Accusation.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so I took a picture with Miss Charlotte and we sent it to her niece, and she actually legitimately thought that I was Luke Grimes.
I haven't asked for his ID yet, so I mean, who knows? We'll get to the bottom of this eventually.
Sleeper agent is what I am. So,
all right, from there, if that wasn't enough, we get back on the airplane in New Orleans and fly straight to Knoxville, Tennessee. Or not straight. I don't think you can go anywhere without a layover somewhere. But anyway, we wound up in Knoxville, Tennessee eventually.
Yep.
And that was a MeatEater tailgate event right there by Neyland Stadium where the Tennessee Volunteers play. And good gosh, what a good time.
Oh, my God. It was great. It was like a big show out of fans.
Yeah.
A lot of people obviously there for the game. But tons of people wearing Bear Grease shirts. Some even had your new logo, this Country Life logo.
Life. Yeah.
Yeah, and which was just awesome to see.
Yeah, it was good.
Great.
I've said it all the time. Clay gets to go to all these interesting places and do the stuff on the wonderful podcast he does, but he gets to interact and talk with people, and I just stare at a screen and read a script.
Yeah.
So it's really cool for me to get out and be able to talk to the folks that listen and hear what they like and the things that they want to hear and just get some feedback one-to-one or one-on-one. And, man, I tell you, it's just it's very rewarding, especially the folks that bring their kids up there.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Santa Claus, man. I was holding youngins everywhere and getting their picture made.
I feel like every time I looked over, Brent had a baby in his hands taking a picture. So.
I'll tell you, man, I ain't worth 15 cents by myself, but I feel like a millionaire when I got a youngin of any kind in my hand. But we did some squirrel hunting up there.
Yeah.
Killed a few squirrels. Did some with Rich Froning.
Rich Froning, yep.
The fittest guy in America or fittest guy in the world at one time or not.
A couple times, yeah.
Good fella, nice guy. Good place to kill some squirrels. We cooked some squirrels up and shared that. But from there, once we got that, we went to the ball game. I'm sure everybody's heard if you're interested, how the Tennessee and Alabama football game went.
Great game.
Ooh, barn burner, man.
I will admit I'm not a football guy.
Right.
At all. But as far as being interested in a game, like that was like a head-to-head close game
The first half was like watching paint dry. There wasn't a whole lot going on, but in the second half, buddy, it was a totally different feeling. You could just feel a different vibe in there. And the lead was back and forth and making big plays. And
it was like I was, for me to be actually interested in a football game and stay for the whole thing, I was like, okay, this is a pretty good game.
Had to be good.
It had to be good.
So. And 102,000 people in there.
Yeah, that was I didn't conceptualize how many people were actually there. Obviously, every time the crowd roared, it was so loud. And my first thought was, man, getting out of here is going to suck.
Yeah, I think I had a loose tooth when I left out of there, man. It was loud.
Yeah, it was.
But
loud.
Everybody was just so nice.
Totally.
It was just a very accommodating place. Hunter Spencer, our graphic artist for MeatEater, that designed the a lot of the stuff that you see, and the This Country Life logo for sure. But a lot of the MeatEater stuff that you see, the T-shirts and stuff, Hunter's the guy that does that, and he is a Tennessee alum. And,
oh yeah,
man, he was hard to handle there at the end. He wanted to rush the field.
yeah. I think he did. I think he did. And for those of you who also don't know this, Mr. Reaves over here decided to show up to the Tennessee game with his Razorbacks T-shirt on because, if you want to tell him, Tennessee has the only loss this year to.
It just happened to be. It's just a coincidence that it was the University of Arkansas. Now, I wasn't trying to start any trouble or anything. It was just the only clean T-shirt I had, so I just wore it. It wasn't on purpose. It was just a coincidence.
Yep. Yeah, I believe that.
That's what we're going to say anyway. But great environment, a lot of fun. Was glad to be there, but I was glad when we hit the plane again.
Cute.
2 stops later, we're in Little Rock. An hour and a half later, we're at the 2024 Coon and Deer Camp in Augusta, Arkansas. My friend Randall Whitmore's camp, a famous coon club coon camp that his father, Mr. Dick Whitmore, owned for years. And it's been featured in a couple films that Clay and I've shot down here. We were coon hunting and squirrel hunting. So there's some history of the stuff that in some of the films that we did that's available on the MeatEater YouTube channel. You can see those films there and hear a little bit more about this place. But it's an iconic place. It's an iconic structure. There's been a lot of just for the people down here that appreciate this kind of stuff. It's just a great place to be.
Oh yeah.
And we hit the ground running, man. Public land deer hunting. With Michael got us the muzzle loaders. We hit the ground, and we took off.
Oh yeah, it was. We came in here, we cooked some dinner.
Yep.
And went to bed. Woke up, started hunting, and it was great. I mean,
And what else was it?
It was hot.
Very hot.
It was hot.
Incrementally hotter every day. And we've got some cameras out on public land. We know other folks that are hunting. There's a guy next door to us that's hunting here, a bow hunter from out of state. And he's got running cameras everywhere and no deer moving during the day, hardly at all.
No. And that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say that I'm disheartened at it. Like you gotta, work with what you dealt.
Yeah.
And so, but the cool thing for me, or the most reassuring thing, was like just the amount of sign.
Yeah.
On this public land that we were on, and just when you see that much sign on public, you're like, okay, well, this is not a total bust. Like,
no.
I'm not like coming down here and wasting my time.
Yeah, it's not a gar hole. It's not a gar hole. And we would, it wasn't like we were the only 2 folks here, but everybody that we were around that were hunting and was hunting around us, they were very respectful of each other's place where they were.
Oh, totally.
And it was just not to be that the game just wasn't stirring.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like up in Montana, you will run into people and people will go out of their way to come talk to you.
Yeah.
But like down here, what I've noticed is like you're hunting on a smaller chunk of land and you might run into somebody or see someone parked there, but people aren't encroaching on one another, which is, again, like so reassuring.
Yeah.
And like makes me actually want to hunt down here again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a lot of fun and everybody gets it. We got to share this place.
Oh, totally.
If we're going to keep access to it, we're going to have to do that. But 2 days or 3 hunts, actually, morning, afternoon, morning, not one deer seen. We got pick cameras out. We're seeing a few deer moving at night. They're just not moving. But what was moving, mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. Y'all ever have experienced mosquitoes like this in South Dakota or Montana?
Man, I cannot. Montana, yeah. I'd say you get on the rivers, you're floating on the rivers, and during a certain time of year, like they'll be out. I can't say growing up in South Dakota that like I've ever been attacked that way by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
But in
October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like I was sitting there. I think you and I had separated and we were doing our own thing, and I'm pretty much covered head to toe, just, trying to hide all my skin tone, but my hands are exposed, and yeah, they are tore up, and
I can see all the bites.
Yeah, I texted. I think we were texting, and we were like, "We're done."
Now we hadn't talked about this part yet, but it was like an hour before dark. He was like, "How's it going over there?" And I'm like, "Mosquitoes." And you said, "Yeah, me too." And I was waiting. I was just like, "Please say, let's go to the truck."
Yeah,
please. I think it's what you were probably waiting on me to say.
I don't know. Yeah, I was.
I wasn't going to be the first one to punk out, but I was sitting over there swatting mosquitoes. I wasn't even hunting deer at that point.
Yeah, no, it was pretty much a done deal.
So we talked to Michael. Michael checks us. Michael Rosemary checks on us. What'd y'all see? Nothing. He's all right. Let's go coon hunting tonight. Mm-hmm. So, what'd you think?
Oh my God, that was so foreign, but just kind of the coolest thing to be a part of, and like I've never felt so like useless in a way, because like it's like I'm just sitting there, and like obviously we have dogs. We had Waylon and Heck. Heck is Mikey's dog.
Yeah,
and Waylon's obviously yours, and both just dang good dogs. And they're just going to work and doing all this and finding these coons and training them. And like, that was so cool to witness. But again, like, I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, I don't know what I should be doing right now. And I'd kind of just wait. And then you two are like, let's go. And so we go.
Well, I've been talking to you about it, and you've been asking me questions about coon hunting for, 2 years, almost 2 years. And was it just what you expected? Like I had described to you? Was it different? How did you take it?
I think like the biggest like catalyst that I got, like I finally came to realize, was when we actually got here and we were sitting down, and I turned to you and I go like, Brent, like, what is the deal with coon hunting? Like, cause obviously when people go hunting, they're looking for like that specific buck, elk, bear, whatever. And I'm just like having a hard time trying to find the appeal of a raccoon. Like, is it the tail size? Is it the amount of rings on it? What is it?
Right.
And you're like, oh man, it has nothing to do with the coon.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with the dog, and like watching him work in that relationship, and just like having a solid tree and walker coon dog. And like Mikey attested to this as well. And that was just like, oh, okay, this, like, it doesn't matter about the coon. It doesn't matter if we fill the buggy up with them or not. And that was, I think, the coolest part for me. It was just kind of really just like ego checking myself. Like, it's not about shooting something. It's about
absolutely not. You know, my friends Jason Doobie, Buddy Woodbury up in northwest part of the United States, they like to chase cats, lynx, and you know, and treat them using the same methods that we do down here. So it's not the species you're after. It's just that relationship with that hound. And you, I mean, we stopped by my house, you know, to get all kind of rearrange our stuff and pick Waylon up and bring him up to the camp. And you saw how my family interacts with that dog and treats that dog. I mean, he's not a hammer or a tool to pull out of a drawer when you want to go try to treat a coon. He's part of our family.
Yeah, he certainly is.
And that whole relationship is just what's so special and so much fun.
Yeah, and to see that like being carried over into different like roles, like whether he is out there hunting with you or at home with the family, laying on the couch.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, it's the same mentality of like, it's all about the interaction and the relationship that you guys are building with.
Well, it's just so rewarding to me. And there's good to be found in anything if you just pay attention to the details and that's where the goodness is in the details. And that's what I like. That's what I like, the little things. You know, when I was training that dog, or he's more or less trained himself, I just give him the opportunity. But to see when he figured out what his purpose in life was, the reason he was on this planet, it was to be there and witness. He's, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And you pet me when I'm barking at this coon up a tree.
Yeah.
You know, that is his reward.
Right. Is
me praising him. And to see that turn on, it's just a special deal.
Oh, and the way he responds to you, like the very last run that we did yesterday was cool to see, because I think he was probably on a trail but he was going kind of a direction that you didn't want him to go.
Yep.
And he was about to cross a river that you didn't want him to cross.
Yep.
And I think we mapped out like almost a quarter of a mile away.
Oh, how far he was?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Over that.
And then Brent just starts like doing his recall, and like that dog just came right back.
Yeah, he actually
took him a little while because he's tired.
Yeah, because he was so far, but he'd actually gone and was on the other side of the White River.
Yeah.
And we called him back. I hollered. Michael hollered. He's louder than I am.
Yep.
But Waylon heard it, and he came.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So Michael comes to our rescue again, and last night and says, "Hey, coon hunting's fun. Y'all came here to kill a deer.
Yep.
Come to my place, my lease,
Mm-hmm.
and see if we can't get you a deer.
Yep.
Because obviously public land hunting's good, and we love it, and we do a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
But if there is a chance, if you can put the odds on your side, it's going to be on a place where access is limited,
Mm-hmm.
and you got feed out for them. So we're going to go. We're going to try to, in the 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th, we're going to try to smash a whitetail that you can take back to Montana.
Yeah. No, and we certainly did just that. We tried, and I think anybody in their right mind, if someone offered to give them opportunity on some private land,
Sure.
I'd say 99 out of 100 people would probably do that.
Absolutely. If you're trying to fill the freezer, and that's what we were trying to do, was
Oh.
put some deer meat in the freezer for you to take home.
Freezer's running low.
Yeah.
Elk hunting up there was a little rough this year. So, but
we get up there.
yeah,
It's still hot.
very.
There's still wild animals, and they ain't reading the script.
No, we did have a little bit of like, hey, maybe this is going to happen moment.
Yeah.
We had, the first deer that we saw cross the river behind us.
Yeah.
Couldn't really make out what it was. And for those of you wondering, we were looking for bucks, but I was more than happy to take a doe. And that was the goal, is just to fill the freezer and bring some meat back home. But so we were like, oh, maybe this first one was a doe. So we got pretty excited. The second one that crossed, we could tell was a little forky. So we were getting pretty amped up to maybe do just that, put some meat in the freezer.
Yep. They came out. We could see that the doe grew a set of spikes in the span of time she hit the bank, and she walked behind those trees and got to where we could see her.
Yeah. She knew that she wanted to grow some horns. So
Yeah,
she
she was a he. But yeah, so we did, and we wound up not getting to get a shoot a deer.
No, but it was fun. It was fun. That was the cool thing too, because I've actually never experienced that either. And I think a lot of people are going to say like, well, you obviously don't do enough hunting. But I've never been in a stand and like just observed deer that close.
Yeah.
I've shot a fair share of deer, but just watching them with them having no idea that you're there is pretty incredible.
Yeah, we were hunting in a buddy stand, and that spike before it left, both of them were within 30 yards of where we were at.
Yeah.
At one time, as they're walking by us, they're within 10 or 12 yards.
Oh.
And then the spike walks up almost to the bottom of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have hit him with a rock.
Oh,
Easy.
yeah. He definitely knew something was up, but I think he's just a little too inexperienced to be like, okay, this is not normal.
But had a great time. You got to do some stuff that you don't normally get to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you should take me pheasant hunting.
Yeah.
In South Dakota.
You've never done that.
I've never done that. I've never experienced that. So take me up there, and we won't kill some pheasants, and we'll be even. It'll be good as this deer hunt you went on.
Yeah. Well, I could just take you to the sage grouse spot and you won't see any pheasants. No, yeah, that deal. You got it.
This has been a lot of fun. We got to get our stuff cleaned up and head to the airport in the morning to get you back to Bozeman, back to your project, to your
production
coordinating, and get that stuff squared away.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate you being here, buddy.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're always welcome here, and we thank you for watching the first, maybe annual,
maybe reoccurring
Chili and Brent Coon and Deer Camp podcast 2025 is next.
25 is next.
Y'all be careful.
See ya.
Luke Grimes, everybody.